Twitter out with a surprise announcement yesterday saying it will ban political advertising, this ahead of the 2020 presidential campaign. In a series of tweets, CEO Jack Dorsey saying political message reach should be earned, not bought. Joining us right now to talk about digital advertising and online misinformation is Howard Lerman. He is the founder and CEO of Yext. It's great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
I got a chance to see you 2 days ago with the great Magic Johnson, and we can talk about that. But let's talk about this political advertising piece for just a moment. $3 million for Twitter is nothing. But in the larger scheme of things, how do you think this changes the story? Do you think it actually pushes Facebook or pushes anybody to change the dynamic around this?
When you look around the internet, misinformation is running rampant online.
Right.
It's in fake news and social media. It's political advertising with fake ads. It's in search with competitive ads.
Which is what you do.
That's right. We're in search.
Right.
And, you have self-proclaimed experts that are blogging just to be there in SEO. There's misinformation everywhere online.
But as a result of that, the question is, do you police it? Do you block it entirely? What's the answer?
Well, look, I think Twitter has taken a stand by actually doing something. What you've got to do is get to the source. You've got to get to verification. We believe at Yext that the ultimate source on information about a brand or a person is the person itself.
Right. So one of the things that Yext does, just so everyone knows, is it effectively sorts data for companies. So if you are a McDonald's and you go on Alexa right now and you say, hey, I want a burger, how much does the burger cost? You've sorted the data effectively for them, correct?
That's exactly right.
Right. And so the data is coming directly from McDonald's.
From McDonald's itself.
However, in the political realm, the challenge is hopefully when McDonald's puts that data out there, they'll tell you the price of the burger is whatever it is. The question is, if the politicians start lying about what their policies are or what other people's policies are, how the public is supposed to judge that.
Well, I think when it comes to a politician or a business, they're the ultimate authority on their own policy. I don't think
on their own policy, perhaps.
What if McDonald's says we're the best? We have the best burgers.
That's an objective. That's a subjective question. So there's two kinds of questions in search. You have subjective questions and objective questions. And subjective questions are ones where
if I'm a politician and you ask me if I supported the impeachment of President Trump, I can point to one vote that I said yes, or I can point to another one where I said no. They often do these votes in Congress where you can basically say that you supported or didn't support anything. So you have the chance to vote both ways.
Being able to pin down a politician is pretty tough. Yeah. But what we know about at Yext is how to make sure a brand, a company is answering a question about them.
So I have a question. I have a complicated one for you.
Okay.
If McDonald's started, put on its website that Burger King had salmonella in its whatever, just made it up, straight up, what should happen? I believe, by the way, there are rules that would, A, prevent that. People can sue over that. I'm not sure. I don't know. Would Yext sort that data for them? What happens? How does that work?
The ultimate authority on a company is the company itself for objective facts, for things like how many calories are in a Big Mac.
Right.
At Onward yesterday, we announced our new product, Yext Answers. Yext Answers is a revolutionary new site search engine that lets companies answer questions in a Google-like experience on their own website.
Right, but what happens if the answers aren't accurate?
Well, it's up to the company to keep the answers accurate about themselves.
Right.
Right now, search engines have all kinds of stuff from experts, from so-called experts that are putting information out there, third-party information that's unverified. The whole key is verification, and the ultimate authority on
But do you think that you're going to ultimately get regulated? Do you think that everybody's going to get regulated on this idea of truth and misinformation?
Well, when it comes to big tech regulation, we're not big enough to be regulated yet. It's my job as a CEO to help us get there, Andrew. But
you want to get big enough so you get regulated?
That would be the idea. But here's the main point. With our new product,
right,
a company like Campbell's can. We demoed Campbell's soup.
Yep.
It's a basic kind of thing. You couldn't before type in something like broccoli cheese soup into their own site search and get a result. You got 10 blue links back. Right. Now, when you search for broccoli cheese soup on their site with Yext Answers, you get a Google-like answer. You can ask how many calories are in it. Right. This is the future of search. It's all about natural language processing and being able to understand the question.
Separate search question. So if Twitter and let's say Facebook were to announce that they are no longer accepting political advertising, if you were a politician and you have to, quote unquote, earn your keep in the way that Jack Dorsey was talking about, how would you do it through SEO?
Well, SEO...
And SEO is search engine optimization,
right?
Because that's what will ultimately have to happen.
Right. So when it comes to SEO, it's kind of a funny thing. The internet has changed a lot. It used to be you'd go directly to a brand's website, then search came along, we type in a keyword, we get 10 blue links back on a page. But the world has now shifted back to answers. When you run a search on Google, you don't get 10 blue links anymore. You get a wealth of different results. You're pulled in a bunch of different directions. What we want to do at Yext is help companies answer questions about them with one authoritative voice.
Final quick question for you. There is this big tech backlash. If Macon Delrahim were to call you and say, is Google being fair with you? Is Facebook being fair with you? Because you rely on all of these services to some degree to work. You would say what?
We've got great partnerships with Amazon, with Facebook, with Google. They're totally being fair with us because we put more than 200 million authoritative facts from verification.
So Yext is not going to be one of the companies that says to Macon, go after those guys.
We believe there's a real need for an independent player in the market to be able to push verified facts about businesses everywhere.
Okay. Howard, thank you.